I'm grateful for this moment to be sitting with Kai Ashley, our favorite doctor, nutritionist. I gotta say it every time. And healing is a topic that we hear a lot. Healing and trauma, and you need Jesus. So today, I want to go to the depths, keep it as simple as possible, raw as possible, to talk about what is healing.
Okay.
So, in your world, Kai, just the word itself, what is it to heal and what is healing?
To heal means to bring to the surface all of the parts of you that are holding you back from being in your light, being in your joy, and living a life of abundance, love, happiness, and breaking the cycles and the patterns that are keeping us stuck. That's what it means to heal. And healing means doing the work to help connect you back to who you've always been before the programming, before the trauma, before the negative beliefs were instilled into you by your parents, your family members, your partners, etc. It means cleaning out the vessel, the body, in order to access the mind more fully, in order to connect to spirit completely. So healing is the process of returning back to spirit, returning back to self.
I'm always grateful to sit with Kai because with the information and the wisdom that pour out of us, you get a masculine and a feminine approach. So when I think of healing, I think of being that country boy. If you fall and get a scrape, it has to heal, it has to scab. Or let's say that you get SICK growing up. You want to go outside and your mama like, no, go sit down so that you can heal. Go rest so that you can get better. So to heal is to allow our natural way to come to our heart, come to our center, come to our groundedness, come to our original essence. So when you speak on programming and the things that's been put on us and the indoctrinations or even how we were raised, a lot of those things put weights on us that we ain't need to be carrying. So healing is just allowing the natural ways of everything around us to become balanced, to become center, to be better.
Everything that you just mentioned is so true. And one thing that stood out to me in particular was when you talked about as children we would get scabs and we were resilient, right? And we allowed nature to do its healing. Maybe every once in a while our mother or our grandmother would rub some ointment on it or do some, apply some herbs or something unknowingly, helping us through healing, our healing process. But one thing that came to mind was I recently had a really bad accident and I had a scab that just went like down the side of my body, and I know you did as well. So I want to talk about some of the things that I observed as I was going through that physical healing process. What I was able to see physically with my own eyes helped me realize what's happening when we're doing the healing work that may not be seen on the surface, right? So I had the accident, I had the scab for a couple weeks, and I observed how quickly it was healing because one, the way that I was eating, right? Two, the sound frequencies that I was listening to before going to bed. Three, the environment that I was in. I ended up having the accident and then going to Jamaica for about a week, and in Jamaica it was completely healed. I went into the water, I went into the river, I was eating good, and I saw this scar, this scab on the entire side of my body heal within about 7 days. And I thought I was like a superhuman or something. And I know you've also experienced something very tragic as well, an accident that was visibly seen. So I want you to kind of go through your healing process and what helped you go from open wound, not even walking, to doing backflips on the ocean.
Listening to you, I heard vibrate high. And as you vibrate high, your healing can be at a more expedient rate. For myself, I had a skating accident, as we would say. I was skating down a hill that I never skated down before. So to my surprise, going down a steep hill, maybe 30 miles per hour, there lied a curve, a sharp curve, and I could not take the curve. So I got road rash from my calf all the way up to my butt, and immediately with my childhood of getting bumps and bruises, cuts, scrapes, and breaks, I knew, okay, let's wrap it so that it can begin to start cleaning or healing its own self, and I don't want to get it dirty, so get infected or cause more harm. So I immediately left where I was. I limped, as a matter of fact. I went straight to Whole Food and I got some vitamin E oil. And putting the vitamin E on the open wound allowed it to hydrate and gain some elasticity. Because in the duration from the accident to the store, let's say a matter of 30 minutes, it was already beginning to heal or dry up, scab up in a sense, and it made it tighter and it made it more challenging to walk. So getting moisture, getting oil. I had an experience where someone bought me some aloe vera gel, but it had chemicals in it. It wasn't pure. It wasn't the actual plant itself that was cut and rubbed. And I remember putting it on my leg. Fire. That was it. It burned. It was a feeling like I never felt before because the wounds were so big. So for me, I left out a part immediately as I fell. I went to play a cell regeneration frequency. It was just intuitive. Your cells know what to do. Your body knows what to do. And when we're speaking about this healing, if you can play a frequency and allow your ears to hear, or place yourself in an environment that will allow you to vibrate highly.
You're consuming things that are toxic to the body, which are delaying your healing process. And I think that, you can tell how in tune the body is with nature based on how quickly you're able to heal.
Mm-hmm.
When you tear a leaf off of a plant, or when you take the plant out of the ground or take a fruit off of a plant, do you know how quickly it heals itself? It's so fast. And we are just like plants. And so, however, you have to be pure, you have to cleanse the body, you have to surround yourself in environments that are conducive to your healing, that are vibrating high enough for you to have that healing process, because now your cells can focus on adapting to the environment around you. Your cells can focus on returning back to nature, back to its true self. And you said something that was a really big part of this was your body knows how to heal. Your body knows what to do. The thing is that we sometimes get in the way of that healing through all of the things that I mentioned in the beginning of the video, programming, trauma, habits, all of those things get in the way of our body doing its natural healing process. So we have to step in and consciously make decisions to break those cycles and break those habits in order to begin the healing process. So that's healing on a physical level. Any sort of dis-ease or discomfort that people are feeling, I do believe that they can start healing physically first, and then it will unlock certain things in the mind, certain things in the spirit that need to be addressed as well. But it's really hard for us to even get to that point if we don't start healing the body first. Even if you're someone who considers yourself to be very healthy and, very clean, and you eat well and you do all the right things, you listen to all the right music, and you are in a great environment, there are still things that are always needed to be worked on in the mind and the spirit. But I do believe that it starts physically. And so when you're able to recognize how to heal the body physically, everything else becomes so much easier to see and to bring into your awareness, and then to do the work.
We're talking about the environment, the external environment, but also the internal environment. So what's your actual consumption that goes inside? And that I know played the biggest part on my healing. Being plant-based, like I'm not heavy and loaded down with meats, so my body can go to where it needs to. The cells know, alert, something is happening here, and it's not focusing on we need to break down and digest and move what I've been eating, but more so go straight to the invader, go straight to the healing. Consumption and also the output. It might go a little deeper, but I'm thinking about the words that we speak. I'm thinking about the thoughts that we think. Like all that stuff still returns right back to us.
I received, after I think my first ayahuasca ceremony, I received a download, and I titled it The Light Formula. And it's exactly what you're describing. Our inputs directly create our outputs, aka our experience, our habits, our beliefs, etc. So our inputs, I can break them down into everything that we consume. This is the food that we consume. This is the music, the sounds, the frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
This is the thoughts, the habits, and beliefs that we have, and our environment. There might be a few other things in there, but those are the main things that we input, the things that we receive through all of our senses. Those create our outputs, which, if we think about it as a formula, it turns into this vibration. Like, all of those inputs equal a certain vibration, certain frequency. Based on that frequency, that vibration that you have on the other end of the formula, it will determine how you see the world, how you interact with the world, how you view the world, the things that you experience in the world through all of your senses. So if someone is not in a place where they like the outputs that they're receiving, all they have to do is change the input. It's a lot deeper than that, but like we were saying, it can start as simple as cleaning out what you're consuming physically in the body. And then once you start to do that internal cleanse, you start to see your external world shift. I can't really pinpoint exactly how or why this happens, but I can sense heavy emotions on a lot of people, and my instant reaction is, so what did you eat today? Right? And that alone can shift someone's entire mood, emotion, and outlook on life.
Period.
And that's just one method, modality that is used in the healing journey. There are a ton of modalities, and I always encourage people to find what resonates best for them. But I found that for me as well, it started with food and inputs, what I was physically putting inside of my body, but also on my body. Trying to keep it as natural as possible so that my thoughts and my brain isn't as foggy as it used to be when I was unaware of the things that I was putting into my body. This goes so much deeper than just food, because, you know, we could get into energies of other people as well. We can get into energies of sound, music. You know, what are you constantly playing around you, because your body and your mind and your spirit are picking up on it.
Absolutely.
So that's, the inputs and outputs are real. Like, you're onto something with that.
I want to add on to what you were speaking of. What you're eating can dictate how you feel. So when you see someone in a funk, you can ask them, what have they ate today? And I think about the well-known commercial that everyone knows, you're not yourself when you're hungry. Eat a Snickers. Yeah. How healthy is a Snickers? And I think about, like, when we sit down to consume with food, it's sacred. It's a chance to use all of your senses at one time. Smell, taste, touch. If you are partaking in foods that are not giving life back to you, then that's your ritual, in a sense. But we just see it as snacking, we just see it as breakfast. But not is what I'm consuming or putting input, giving life, keeping life in here. And when you start mentioning about the food, that's what I thought about, the Snickers commercial.
And I think you know me pretty well by now. I'm not me when I'm hungry.
Me either.
Nobody is.
Yeah.
And so at that point is where the choice comes into play of, am I going to feed into the programming that has been fed to us since birth in this realm, or am I going to make a conscious decision to feed my body something light, something full of energy, regardless of if it's cooked or not, right? Does it have nutritional value? Is it going to contribute to my mental capacity? Is it going to give me the energy that I need to pursue the dreams and desires and goals that I have? Or is it going to sedate me and put me into a state of unawareness, deeper into a state of unawareness, so that I can continue to be controlled and programmed? So nobody's themselves when they're hungry.
Yeah.
But you can choose to step more into yourself, or you can choose to step more away from yourself. And this is where addiction and using food to numb the body and the mind and the spirit come into play. So food, I know we've talked about this topic so much, but it's used as a tool to keep people numb when used incorrectly. So, yeah.
I just thought about like to go into some elaboration. In the country, like there's a lot of working. So there's this saying that we use is, I need to grab something to hold me over until lunch or dinner. So typically that would look like, in the past, going to the gas station, grabbing, for me, some hot fries, like Arizona tea, maybe some Lance crackers, and like I said, all of those things is throwing the body out of alkalinity, throwing the body out of alignment. And I even think about sodas. Like growing up, working on cars, like to take away the frustration of what this car is giving to me, I go grab me a Tahitian treat, because it's something that's allowing me to step out of my current thought pattern to focus on something else, or allow me to feel good, or I get that instant high or the sugar rush that allows me to continue. But I never looked at the ingredients label. I never really cared what 46 grams of sugar would do, because I didn't think about the long term. I didn't think about the itis. I didn't think about having the hot dog, no, this is real life. Hot dog, hamburger, fish, beans, cake, sweet tea, all on one plate, and knocking it down within 20 minutes, and probably going back for another plate. And we used it loosely as a joke. I got the itis, or I need to go lay down and take a nap. And that's just putting shit on top of shit and not allowing things to flow, taking you out of your center.
That's most of society, basically. That's why I was talking about the numbness and using food as a tool to keep people sedated. Yeah, it's designed that way. It's meant to be so that you eat something and you go lay down immediately after, and then you wake up an hour or two later and do it all over again. And then you go to work and you sit at your desk, or you're stagnant throughout most of your day, regardless of what type of work you do, and you just put more and more on top of that. And then eventually it gets to the point where something is wrong, you feel weird, right? And you feel weird, you feel pain constantly. And then you go to the doctor and you say, "Doctor, give me something to fix this quickly." And then you keep going to the doctor, because that thing they gave you to fix it quickly causes other symptoms and dis-ease in other organs of the body. And now you are asking for more of this thing to make me feel better quickly. Versus capturing it at the root, which is, what are you consuming? That's really what it all comes back to. But I understand that, as I was saying, it is mental as well. A lot of people are addicted to sugar. A lot of people are addicted to empty calories. A lot of people are addicted to sodium and the feeling that it gives them after eating. It makes you feel full, but you're not receiving any nutrients.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
A saying that I would hear all too often is, let's say someone's moving or working and they say that I feel my sugar dropping. What are ways, foods, modalities that will allow people to choose a healthier way to bring back balance in those moments?
I think the first thing is if that's you want to start with like detoxing and cleansing and returning the body back to as natural of a state as possible, and then start filling it with natural sugars. Like you just ate a whole bowl of fruit, you're probably not going to crave sugar for the rest of the day. So it's going to be hard work in the beginning, especially if you're someone who's grown up having and consuming sugar your entire life. It's not an easy thing to get rid of because it's a chemical reaction that's taking place, and your body is familiar with this because originally they saw how humans use sugar as energy, and then they turned it into refined sugars because it's cheaper to make and it makes things taste really good. And so now it became an addiction versus something that we use to simply keep us going throughout the day, keep us, gathering food, kept us outside building our houses and the gardens and all those things. So it's been replaced with artificial sugar. So the first thing we have to do is cleanse the body, clear the body out of these sugars, go on a fast, go on a detox to reprogram your mind away from that sugar addiction. And then once you start introducing foods back into your daily life, start with some fruits. Fruits have very high sugar content, which is why I think a lot of people are like, oh, I can't eat it because it's too much sugar. But this isn't the type of sugar that causes diabetes.
Talk about it.
This is the type of sugar that gives your body the natural energy that it needs, especially if you're someone who's been consuming refined sugars for most of your life. So that's what I would say is cleanse the body first, then start to gravitate towards things that contain natural sugars, such as fruits. Replacing any sort of sweeteners that you might use. Like, no one should have white sugar in their house anymore at all. Like, with all of the alternatives, we need cane sugar, we need honey, agave. Those work just as well, and they're better for the body and for managing your glucose. So that's how I would start. But in order to really dedicate yourself to this lifestyle change, just stop buying it. Stop buying the junk food, stop buying the sugary snacks to hold you over. Stop feeding it to your children because they are now addicted. So you need to not only break the addiction for yourself, but you need to break it for your children and your family as well. And then I encourage people to just start reading labels. Start reading exactly what you're putting into your body, and then it'll create this moment of, is it cognitive dissonance?
Go with it.
Okay. I don't know if that's the right word, but it'll create this moment where your body knows what's truth and what's not, and you're going to question everything because now it's in your face. Now it's not hidden from you. Now you see what you're consuming. So start reading the labels, and if you can't pronounce the first 3 ingredients, and if there's more than 20 ingredients, you probably want to put it back down.
Oh, for sure.
And maybe opt into a natural version or opt into making it yourself. It's really, really hard work to break something like this, to break this cycle. But I do think it's a really good first step. So it starts with returning back to your natural state.
That's it.
And then making conscious decisions from there.
Returning back to your natural state, I literally thought of take the pacifier out of your mouth that was given to you. And when you said, or you can make it yourself, I just thought about like ketchup. Generally in the States, they got high fructose corn syrup. But
And everything.
When you travel out to Germany or we're in Colombia, even the colors is different. They use, what was supposed to be, tomatoes, vinegar, water.
It's all natural. And I love, on a little side note about that is, in a country like Colombia, they put huge black labels on every product, and it will tell you excess sugar, excess sodium. So it'll tell you that this product contains all of those things. You don't even have to turn the label around. They'll put it right on the front label. They'll cover the logo of the product too. And so that helps a lot of people make conscious decisions. It's very similar to when they had cigarettes and now they have to put the label on the cigarettes that says this causes cancer. That's literally what other countries have begun to do. And I mean, they've been doing it for quite some time. Like you mentioned, many places in Europe don't even allow those products on their shelves, but yet we are the guinea pigs. We're like that movie that we watched. They cloned Tyrone. That's what we are. We're in this huge experiment to see how addictive can we make food, how addictive can we make television and media? How addictive can we make everything?
Mine.
And they're just dialing up each and every day the level of addiction that is taking place because a lot of people are not making their own choices.
Ooh, not making your own choices, meaning not being intentional in your planning. Like if you do your meal prep or the night before that you know that you got work or a labor-intensive day, go ahead and prep what it is that you would like to have. Go ahead and get your fruit. Go ahead and get your snacks. I mean your nuts, your seeds. Go ahead and get that stuff ready. So when you do have those moments where you're like, I really could use a pickup, you're just not gonna go out and just grab anything. Because I'll say me taking accountability, I love French fries. And if I'm out and I get hungry, I'll be going to get some French fries. And yet I know if I have my meals planned out, it will be much different. And you mentioned media, and like we just mentioned They Clown Tyrone. Make sure you go see that. It's gonna talk about everything that we've seen in culture. I also just thought about a movie, something considering the Flower Moon, where Christopher Columbus and his cousins came to indigenous land where the Indians was, and they gave them sugar and they gave them alcohol. And like she said, read the ingredients or take a picture and put that thing in ChatGPT so that you can know. But don't run away from that thing, man. For a while, when I started changing what I was eating, it took me a long time to really be like, all right, I'm gonna look and see what alcohol actually is. I'm gonna look to see what alcohol does to the body. I didn't want to know because I just wanted to have fun. And now you're at a place where you have to decide, this is either giving me life or it's putting me in the dirt. And that's all it is. You have to plan, you have to be intentional, you gotta take the pacifier out of your mouth. They put us in school and taught us all this bullshit that ain't for us. So now you have to reprogram, relearn what is actually good for me. You deserve that. And I thought about a word that I had wrote down the other day, and that's what I had put on my leg. It was secure. S-E-C-U-R-E. Secure yourself. Cure yourself. Like it really is in your hands. And think about like making your own teas with all these herbs that's out here. You can literally fuel your immune system, give yourself more energy, allow your nervous system to calm down, allow your mood to be balanced, all from putting herbs in some water.
Yeah. You know what that made me think about?
Mm-hmm.
It made me think about your community and your concept of God body. So can you talk a little bit more about how healing plays a part in God body, this beautiful concept and community that you've started?
Sure. So God body, when I first thought of the word, I know that many people have like this misconception that if anyone says that they're anything close to God, then that is ungodly. But I feel like to be with God, one with God, to be who He's called you to be, you have to take care of yourself just as He would take care of you, which means making conscious decisions, being aware of what you're doing and not moving and programming. So this starts with the mind. It starts with the consumption of the food, everything that we spoke about so far in this podcast about healing. But moving your body, doing things that bring you joy, dancing, physical movement, literally challenging yourself, planting seeds that are gonna fruit what your life needs, what your body needs, what your mind needs, what your spirit needs. So with God body is the opportunity to say, I take self-accountability. I know what my self-love is. Everything's self. Everything, I'm not gonna wait for Jesus to come fix it. I'm not gonna wait for the prayer to be answered. I know that I have to meet God halfway in this co-creation. I know that I have to put in the work. If I'm not consciously thinking of what needs to be done and for my future, how are you gonna know where you're going? How are you gonna know what you want? How are you gonna know what you don't want? So it's like all things self. You have to be the sole proprietor. You have to be the one steering the ship. You don't get to dictate how the ocean is going to move your boat, but you get to dictate how strong your boat is.
Yes. I really like that analogy. Wow. Who is this community for, and who should be joining?
So my concept around God body is from pain to purpose. And we've all been forged through fire.
Yeah.
Every single person. Like, it's the only way to learn the lessons of life. So anyone who's ready to like really see their potential, really see their capability, really see how life can work on your behalf instead of letting life happen to you. So anyone who's been hurt, anyone who's experienced heartbreak, like, you have to heal your heart. You can't have bitterness, you can't have resentment, and that's just on a mental plane. Anyone who, you should be able to carry your groceries in on 1 or 2 trips. You should be able to balance on a rock just in case. You never know what. I was running along the beach today and these dogs came just as close to me and I was thinking they was gonna bite me. But to the point of, I have prepped myself enough to know if I need to be in the heat of a moment, I'm gonna rise to the occasion. So this is more so about preparation. It's about survival. It's about living and thriving. It's everybody. You, and you.
Buzzwords, wow. If that doesn't awaken something in you, I don't know what will, because ultimately that's what we're all here to do, is to remember who we are, what we're capable of, where we're going. And I don't have any other words. I'm excited to see the growth of this community, because I'm going to briefly mention this because I know we're going to do another episode about this, but I just completed my sitting with Mama Aya for the 3rd time, and I had asked my shamana, how do I help people heal that maybe are not yet ready to sit with the medicine? And she said, through words. And she said, you need to get people in a circle and get them talking. That is healing. And what is a community? It's getting people into a group, facilitating conversation, and allowing them to express through their words the pain that they've been holding on to, so that we can begin this healing journey as a collective. So I'm all for it. I'm excited.
Yeah. Hey, Mike. So we're going to start God Body up soon, but guess who's going to be our first instructor, teacher, guider? Kai Ashley herself. So we're going to come in and really start looking at our mental, look at our decisions, look at how are we preparing ourselves each and every day. How are we nurturing our spirit? How are we making decisions that really move our vessel forward? And do you want to talk about your detox?
Yeah, so in the middle of this video, we mentioned what are some ways that people can begin to break some of these addictions that we have been unaware of for so long. And I mentioned that the first thing that I recommend to everyone is to cleanse the body, cleanse the vessel. The vessel is how you receive information. It's how you connect with your guides. It's how you connect with your higher self. And a lot of people are full of shit. Let's just be real. That's literally what it is. Literally, figuratively, and all of the above, right?
Sure.
People are full of it, right? So these are toxins that accumulated over time through our diet, through our environment, through our beliefs, through our habits, through all of the things that we've unconsciously consumed, our inputs, right? And the best way to start to make any change is to cleanse your body from all of these things, so that you have a blank slate, as close to blank as possible, and you can begin to consume things that are going to uplift you, to raise your vibration, and to help create this clarity. And so I have a course called Detox for Clarity, and before even joining the course, before even joining the community or whatever the case is, if you're just curious of how does this even look, I have so many free resources, so many guides that I want to share with you, but one in particular is called Detoxing for Clarity, and it's going to show you exactly how I use movement, meditation, herbs, and everyday foods that you can find in your fridge and your pantry to help detox and cleanse the body and bring it back to this God body state. So detoxing for clarity, not only is it great for your vessel, it begins to open up the mind, as I mentioned, to eliminate a lot of the fogginess that people are walking around unknowingly with so much brain fog. We're not tapped into nearly half of the power that we're capable of because of this. once you start to detox the vessel and you feel clean and light, your mind begins to open up to the possibilities that are all around you. You start to see opportunities. You start to see that the situations that were once challenges and impossible to move through, you start to find solutions. You start to gravitate towards nature. You start to gravitate towards things that are going to keep you in this high vibrational state. So this is why clarity is important, to be able to even see these things. Okay? So we start with the vessel. We start with the body.
You said clarity, and I thought of Adam and Eve. Clarity and awareness.
Yes.
So with that, you are not a zombie. You are not an NPC. You are a human. You are a spirit. You are a living willpower and walking form. And if you claim that to be yourself, then here's an opportunity to move forward and make the best decisions that are going to impact your life in ways that you have never imagined, by being intentional, being mindful, and being yourself. So with that, Kai Ashley, thank you so much for everything.
Thank you yet again, Charlie Gaines.
Oh, for sure. We're going to see y'all soon. We love you, and we got you.
Peace, love, and light.
Old things have passed away.